Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Spiritual Ranch. My name is Shesho Shesh Nowehe. I'm the Off-Grid Oracle. Welcome to our channel and welcome to the other side of the mountain. And so this could be another shorty. I've been doing several shorties here today, periodically just checking the energy throughout the day, because it's been some really intense times that we're in right now, honestly, today has been a very strange day, man, energetically speaking. Last night was a very strange night, energetically speaking. I haven't been sleeping well with this moon, and also as the days are getting longer, and so of course that alters our circadian rhythm. It's starting to switch up a little bit, and so there's always that element. But boy, you can really feel the tension in the air, and like I had some just really absurd dreams last night, kind of. I would call them not absurd, but just like I understand them, I guess, but I don't really understand them at the same time. They're very not kind of disturbing a little bit, like in a very very strange way, but very vivid. And so it's like the energy that I really am picking up on, and I have been picking up on here for a while, is the urgency right now of the situation that we're all in, because we're in an urgent situation. And so, that being said, I'm gonna check the energies again. I don't know. I keep getting those King of Pentacles energies coming out here, and so we'll see here. I'm trying to, we're trying to get, if it's coming out hard like that, then it's important. That's how I learned that the cards work. The first time that I started to recognize how tarot functions, how it all works, was because I started, I've always been really into astrology. My grandmother was in astrology. And so, like, she had always got me, very, very young age, she got me into astrology and just kind of pay attention to the stars and, like, always, looking into that stuff, right? And like having an awareness of just like learning that, okay, well, this means something. Like when a person is a Gemini, like there's definitely across the board characteristic traits that they share. It's like, okay, well, that really has a lot of weight to it, And I started watching the YouTube videos, and I didn't know that the tarot connected to the astrology that way. I wasn't aware of that at that time. I thought it was kind of woo-woo, honestly. Not really, because I've always known my spirits exist. But I just have always seen it as kind of quackery a little bit, because I didn't quite understand exactly what spiritual energy is and how that works. With the entire universe, and it is. It's it's orderly, it's structured. There's a science to it. Absolutely, it works, but it's the ethers and only God understands it, That's the great code that the controllers right now would love to be able to break, if they could figure out how God does it, like that essence, that spiritual energy, that thing that drives you, like what is you and who and what you are, They don't know. They don't understand it. It's spiritual. It's the spirit, And they think they could replace that spirit with a digital essence of spirit. That's what the whole point of creating AI is, like they're trying to they're going to create their own that AI would be artificial intelligence, But it's like an artificial spirit. It's like they're trying to create an artificial spiritual energy that can occupy a vessel that is then autonomous, thinks for itself, right? I would argue that that's the same mistake that that creator had made in the first place. I would argue that. I would. We left off with the Fool card on the bottom of the deck, anyhow, But I think that's the whole, it's like the prodigal son story is about us bringing God back to God in a similar manner as the prodigal son coming home too, because we have to have that wisdom where they lacked wisdom, not to do the same thing to ourselves. And that's what's playing out here on this battlefield, you know. It's that we have to have enough self-love and a self-worth to always see ourselves in creation, and always see creation as our greatest endeavor, without question, you know, without question. And so if we don't do that, yeah, we'll destroy it, you know. And this has played itself out many times, you know. This is not the first go around with this stuff. We've been dealing with this shit for it's eternal. This is the struggle, you know. And it builds and it collapses, and it builds and it collapses, and it builds and it collapses. And that's how it is with empire and everything within creation, unless creation is going in a manner that is of balance, that is of structure, that has reverence towards all working parts, you know, and each part functions within its designed original function, you know, and in a way that then creates a harmonious balance and a frequency that creates just ever expanding abundance. You know, you can't have it. There's like, you know, it's like they say, like with the salmon, I always use the salmon as an example because that's God's work, you know. And they say like when even when my grandfather was a child, he told me that, like, yeah, they would come in, like the old saying was up in Oregon, as that they'd come in so thick in the Columbia River that you could drive a horse and a buggy across the Columbia River in December when you get your winter run. They said they're so thick you could like walk on them, you know. I mean, it was proverbial. I don't think that you could drive your horse and buggy on them, but that's what they would say, because it was just the whole river would have been just so full of fish that there's, you couldn't even, you're walking through a river of fish. It's like there's so many fish, you know, that they would like probably raise the river level immensely. I mean, it's like the river was full of fish, you know, and now that you don't even hardly ever see them. It's rare, you know, and that's what I'm talking about here. And so it's like with the reset, yeah, we're coming to a reset because we have to right now, and that reset is going to require us to have a willingness to reset. So it's like, what does reset mean? Well, reset means start over, and so we got to start over. I mean, that's just what this is, you know. And if we could get a start over instead of an ending, that would be fucking amazing. That would make God really happy, you know, because when we pushed it to these levels that we pushed it before, like in the past with the empires that failed, you know, with the Atlanteans and with the Lumerians and all the other empires that have failed, you know, cataclysmically, we didn't learn that lesson, you know. We didn't have that wisdom to learn that lesson, but now we do. If we're willing to accept it, you know, we could evolve into that higher state of being with a higher consciousness than any of those cultures, and go back to how it is naturally, you know, to that state that we know exists. All of us know exists within, because that's that state we call God. That's that safe place that we go to, you know. And so I don't know. I'm gonna keep coming at you guys. I'm gonna do my damnedest, because like right now, we're getting a big warning right now that something could be coming. Okay, and it's not gonna be like, I'm not even gonna say cataclysmic like that, because it's gonna be man-made. You know, it's gonna be something that that is like we've seen before. We all know, and so it's like at this time, at this point, collectively, those of us who are mature enough and have lived through enough of these events should know what they're doing, and that they're trying to scare us and they're trying to freak us out. And so we got to prepare ourselves for that, because they're just trying to further and further isolate us away from God into a space where God doesn't exist, you know. I mean, what do you think that is? Lockdown. They're like, oh, you're gonna die if you go outside, you know what I'm saying? Follow me. Now more than ever, it's a time that we, the free people, flee back to the forest. Occupy the forest. We need to occupy available land right now that's arable, you know, the land that can sustain us, and start putting it back into a state that can sustain us holistically and mechanically, or autonomously. And so when we get the forest back to the balance where it's supposed to operate fully, then the forest full of acorns. There's enough acorns for the deer, for the everybody else, and then there's also a river full of salmon. And we don't have to sit and peddle our life away for nickels and dimes to buy a few commodities that from the company store that are going to make you sick and make you unhappy. We can live fat and happy down at the riverside. Big old families, babies running around everywhere, safe and protected by all their uncles, cousins, their nieces. Live in a world that's for reals, you know. Eat healthy food. That makes our brains really strong. That keeps us in a powerful connection with the earth that's underneath our feet and with the divine, the Most High. I mean, honestly, you know, like the way I see it, it's like I'm effing around with this YouTube thing, and it's really funny the way it goes with that tower right again on the bottom of the deck. Okay, the tower's coming. The tower's been coming out a lot, but these videos need views. We need more people out here making videos like with this content on it, trying to get people to actually start a movement that leads us away from government. Because we ain't going to be able to develop a new system. It doesn't matter who has war. So if they have war to take the White House, well, we don't want the White House. That thing is a Roman piece of shit, you know? It doesn't represent God. It doesn't represent anything that sustains us or feeds us. It only represents war and slavery. We need to stand up right now and understand that we the people own the majority of this nation. It's called federal land, you know, and we need to occupy it. It's a massive piece of land, and it can feed us and it can sustain us. And what Father God says is, dude, these motherfucking cards are talking today, big time. So we better listen, right? It's got the tower on the bottom of the deck. There's 10 of Pentacles. It came out in the reverse, but with the Ace of Pentacles in the upright position. That's a reset. You guys saw me shuffling these cards, okay? That's what it was, man. The tower, I shuffled, the tower came out on the bottom of the deck. 10 of Pentacles in the reverse with that Ace of Pentacles in the upright position is a reset. And so, buy beans and rice. I'm going to keep saying that. Buy beans and rice, okay? Buy beans and rice. When a 10 of Pentacles overnight goes down to just one pentacle, an Ace of Pentacles, okay? That's an economic collapse. And that's doesn't mean it's real or not, but you're going to feel it. Because only the ones on the top are the ones who fucking make out the most. But the problem is with this one here is that 10 of Pentacles came out in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles is coming out, right? Upright. Because that's what we're being offered right now. We know how to be broke dick, so we're not going to fall as hard as they are. And we're going to go right now, like I said, they have an opportunity here, a brand new opportunity, to go back to the ways and the means that can provide for us without outside assistance, okay? As Americans, more importantly, as a Dansmorian or as a Bridgevillian, because that's like the only communities that are close to me. Neither of them, they all only have there's only a post office and then like a school in Bridgeville, but then there's a store in Dinsmore, right? But neither of them have a mayor. But we should have mayors, and that should be the only political authority that I care about. That's what American is. That's what American is. That's what America is. And that's what we need to go back to. Because this big government, this big policy, this big dollars, all that shit, this Federal Reserve, it is going to fall on its ass. It's not designed to last, okay? But what they don't know is that they're not going to pull out of this one right now. It's too big. They got in over their heads. But it's going to be those of us who are humble enough to go back to being peasants, because we don't need to be kings and queens. Ace of Pentacles, we're good to go. We have what we need. We'll plant our seed. The garden is given to us by Father, and we're going to be taken care of. We only need that Ace of Pentacles. We don't need all 10 of these motherfuckers right here. So we don't care that they're going to go on their heads. But that's what's coming. And that tower is going to collapse everything right now. It's going to be a big problem. We have world wars trying to explode, and we have economic collapse that's coming. The log truck's coming here. It's going to get loud. It's going to get noisy. Oh, no, it's not a log truck driver. That's this guy. I don't know, they kind of got a weird cage in the back of his truck. I don't know if he hauls a dog in there or what. Hopefully not people. It's kind of strange out here. But like I said, that Ace of Pentacles is coming to us, you guys, because this 10 of Pentacles is that tower that's falling, it's collapsing. That's 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. Boom. All right. 10 of Pentacles in the reverse with the World card on the bottom of the deck. So that wreath around us right now, we've been talking about that wreath. This energy's also been coming out quite often in our reads. And that wreath is our protection right now. That's our ability and our willingness to close ourselves off from the world that's around us in preparation for what is coming. And it's coming. it's coming. I mean, that's just, I'm going to say that, you know, and it's not coming like, oh yeah, baby, oh baby. It's like, no, it's coming. Get your ass ready. Go buy some beans and rice. No, not enough time to be thinking about nookie right now. You got to be thinking about whether you got seeds to plant in your backyard and grow some broccoli. You know, you got to be really thinking about how you're going to keep your family safe, I think, you know, because I think the streets are going to get dangerous. I really do. I don't like the tone. I don't like what's going on right now. The stage is set for a major calamity, you know, and so it's like we got to really pay attention right now about where we're going to go in the case of an emergency, you know. So it's like if your community happens to just blow up and burn down or whatever because of some crazy stuff, you know, it's like my family all lives in Portland, you know, and so they got to figure out where to go if everything's burning down around them, you know. And so hopefully they'll see what that Ace of Pentacles represents too. And so hopefully I'm talking to some of us out here who are in the same position that I'm in, where we can have that opportunity to offer that Ace of Pentacles to the ones who are going to suffer when this pyramid falls right here. Roger? Right now is a good time to listen to OGO. Really is. You know, it really fucking is. I'm listening to the OGO. I really am. I shouldn't laugh. It's very serious. These have been very serious cards. I'm getting a very serious, it's been very serious news too, to go alongside with the reading. That warning to the post office that I was talking about is a very alarming. That makes me feel very nervous, you know, for several reasons, you know. And so that's like, I would advise paying attention, because like with these riots that are going on out here and everything, it's all going to coincide with this, you know, with this 10 Pentacles going in the reverse too. So if they collapse the economy, bam, they got these wars going already, tension's high, and then they're going to pop their shit off on the streets like they are right now, man. They got that crazy stuff going on right now. And we don't know that any of it's true, okay? And so we got to be really focused on these 10 of Wands. I mean, the cards are just like, they're redundant at this point. Like I could, in the star card, okay? And so at that 10 of Wands in the upright position with the star card on the split right there, that's saying, that's saying you got this one. You know, we got this one. Our ability, the thing that's going to make us shine the most is the thing that is what has always been the biggest burden for us, which is the fact that we've always had to carry our load on our own. But that's made us a very resourceful, you know, and very powerful. And now that's going to shine, you know. And so it's where it's like our life has always seemed like a burden to others, even because they're like, whatever, you know, maybe they're driving a brand new pickup, or it's like they would go down and take the easy route. We never did. We always took the hard route, and people thought we were a little bit too stubborn for being in that position always, you know. They're like, what the hell's wrong with that fool? But right now we're going to get the star card, because that effort that we put through, like we've always kind of lived depression era, post-depression, you know. We've always have lived in a way that like people would kind of look at you and be like, man, you ain't gotta live that way no more. Like, don't you know it's a modern world kind of shit, you know? But now that's gonna be our saving grace. That's gonna save our asses right now. Okay, so it's like your willingness to be a dumpster diver, to be homeless, to be a rugrat. If you've been out there living on the streets, you got the tools right now. You got the skills right now to carry yourself through this motherfucker if you use your brain. And so stop using their substances. Focus right now on your health, you know, like eat healthy. You know how to scrounge, you know how to get by, you know how to stay strong in this environment. And so now it could be your time to shine, right? That's that energy right there. It's the star card. It's your time to shine because you got this one, you know? And so don't wallow in that shit no more. Don't think that like the tools that they've used against you, which has kept you weak, is going to stop you from being that fucking emperor right there at the sword of truth. You know, and so now the things that have held us back are going to give us the ability to see things looking forward, because as things get really hard around us, It's going to be easy to be an empire, and an empire that has an emperor, and to become an emperor, and an empire that has collapsed. You know, because the ones who are falling from the top never imagined themselves in your position before ever. And they're going to see the truth of that with this Ace of Swords, but they're not going to be able to function, you know, you guys. And so we need to build community now, because we've always been oppressed in this society because it's been dog eat dog, you know. It's been hard to compete. You're not homeless because you're an asshole. You're homeless because it's hard to compete in this world. And if you got any kind of, honestly, if you're not an asshole, you're more likely going to become homeless and just broken, shattered. Like you see them people just shattered because they're probably such a gentle and delicate soul and so kind and so fucking beautiful and have so much healing energy to offer to the earth. That's just a fucking vicious dog to them that they never had a chance to shine, and it just busted their asses, you know. Not every motherfucker out here is like me. I'm dense, you know. Sure, I'm a righteous motherfucker, you know. Yeah, sure, I'm a child of God, you know. I'm all that shit. Yeah, absolutely, I am the morning star, but I'm also a savage ass motherfucker, you know. And so there's a lot of delicate souls out here that ain't packaged that fucking way. And you watch them wandering around the fucking streets, being taken advantage of, used in every way fucking possible, strung out on fucking shit, and fucking mumbling to themselves. While all these assholes out here fucking look down on them, talk shit about them, want them removed, want them thrown off in a concentration camp and every fucking thing like that. Well, those of us who could survive in that environment and recognize them motherfucking things, it's our time to be the emperor. And that's the energy that's been coming out in these reads. It's our time to fucking lead with that sword in our hand, which is our sword of fucking truth, because we know what we are. We know what we are, and we survived it. We know what our brothers and sisters are who did it. And they ain't going to keep doing this shit to us. We're going to stand the fuck up right now. See, this tower's going to fall and give us fucking opportunity. Understand that, Emperor? All that hard work that you've done now is going to pay off. And everybody that said it wasn't fucking hard work you were doing, they can eat shit. They can impale themselves on your fucking sword of motherfucking truth, and they ain't gonna like it. Leverage card. You got the leverage card, okay? Now, right now, it's really important that we focus on the things that we love the most, okay? Because we've always been held back as a slave. When you are a slave, you're always building for another, you know? You're always working for the emperor, and you don't ever get to fucking receive the things that God is trying to give to you, you know? They keep us all fucking impounded, and locked up in the head right here, not able to think straight, you know? Worrying about these fucking 3 cups right here in front of us that never were our fucking 3 cups in the first place. We think we gotta fill those fucking cups up to ever fucking be anything, but we think we begrudgingly fucking feel like we can't, because we can't. They're not our cups in the first place. We don't need to worry about that shit no more. You know? That's all those things. We talk about this shit here, you know. It's coming out with the Lover's card too here. It's like telling me, I mean, man, I'm trying really hard not to. But in these times of fucking great fucking struggle, all right, look, you know, it's high time, chosen ones. You gotta recognize, like, we need, whatever it is that we're trying to heal, it needs to be healed. Now, it needs to be healed, okay? It's time to heal. That's what this is talking about. You can't be an emperor and starve, show right here, and outdo and recover with an Ace of Pentacles when all 10 Pentacles go to shit, you know? So our empire is not going to fall, but it will if we don't heal. We got to heal immediately. And that's what we have to see. That's what God's trying to tell us, you know, before we could ever get anywhere of forming any kind of union. That union has to be made within ourselves. We have to accept this Ace of Cups right here from Father God, which is God telling you, hey, look, man, it's go time. It's time for you to pull your ass out of that fucking slump that you've been in, where you ain't really fucking thinking straight and everything, because you got to pay the fucking attention right now, or else these 3 cups right here that you're sitting over there pouting about or whatever, they're going to be gone. They're gonna be gone. That's what they're saying. So fucking step up, motherfucker, and protect what you love. God's trying to give you the strength to do that, you know. And so you need to really take that cup right now, because it's high time that we protect what we love. Because if we don't protect what we love, we're gonna fucking lose it right now. And that's for reals, because there's gonna be some crazy shit going down. And we gotta be, yeah, fucking death card. Bam. And the Ace of Swords again. And so we're going to leave it right there. That's, I mean, dude, you know, it's what it is, you guys. Pay attention right now. Pay attention. Be ready, protect what you love. Protect your loved ones. keep your hands clean, you know, because it could get real messy real quick right now. They're really playing a lot of games, you know, and they want to, you know, the reason they would lock things down would be because they had success in trying to create the image of an uprising or whatever, you know, that in the nation, or like of with these protests, you know, it's like they want to get violent protests going, and then have that trigger, you know, a reason for, like, you know, intervention, government intervention or whatever. And we can't have that right now. It's like, and they want it, but they can't have that right now if we understand what this Lover's card is telling us to do, you know. So it's like we all need to heal this, you know, and we're not going to do that violently. We have to be really thoughtful right now about what we're doing. We got to be listening to God and let God lead and guide, direct us, and really buy beans and rice. Okay, peace out, guys. I love you.